Yo, what up, y'all? It's JD August from Can Do You, here to hook you up with another video that we wish we had when we were students. We promise you that these lessons are going to make all the difference in the world when it comes to experiencing big-time success in whatever it is that you set out to do. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today, we want to teach you how to have tough talks with teachers. It goes without saying that over the course of the school year, you're going to disagree with at least one of your teachers. Maybe you feel like you earned an unfair grade on a homework assignment, or paper, or test. Or maybe you feel like they treated you unfairly in class in front of everybody. Well, the answer to that isn't just simply to declare, my teacher doesn't like me, or we just don't see eye to eye. Because it's going to be a long year, and that's not going to serve anybody. Especially if you're trying to go on to be everything that you were meant to be. The answer is to talk it out. But how do we do that? Talks like that are a lot easier said than done. I mean, maybe you're just really angry and you know it's not going to go well. Or maybe you've even showed up to class to have that conversation and you kind of chickened out the last minute. Or maybe you have a conference coming up. If you're feeling weird about it all, that's all right, because they are hard. So today I'm going to give you 3 easy tips on having the tough talks with teachers. The first one is this: timing. Timing is everything. I'm sure most of you guys have heard the story about Goldilocks. Time out. Can we take a second and talk about how homegirl just broke into somebody's house just because she was hungry? Last time I checked, that was a felony, girlfriend. The Goldilocks principle, though, applies to all of us when problems arise in the classroom. When something happens, it's probably not a good idea to just jump up right then and there and declare to the whole world that you're angry and that stuff isn't fair. So maybe the right time to talk about it is before school. Maybe it's after school. Or maybe you want to ask your teacher when that is. But don't get caught up in reacting. You should get in the habit of thinking about something and then responding. See, reacting and responding are 2 totally different things. When we don't take the time to think and formulate a response, our anger might cause us to say things that can make the issue worse. And that principle goes far beyond talking with teachers. The second tip is to be respectful and carry yourself as an adult. Listen, I know you might be mad and I know you might be heated because of this horrible injustice that's done to you, but just hang tight. Cool off and go into that conversation with an appropriate mindset, without a confrontational spirit. When you're going in to speak to a teacher, remember it's not just for you to kind of vent or blow up on them behind closed doors. Make sure you show up to this talk on time and trying to use something that I call I statements. I statements are a way of framing the conversation so you're explaining how you feel, not just pointing fingers and telling them what's wrong with them. For instance, if you have a problem with the teacher's test, you don't just want to be like, your test was unfair, or your test was stupid. You want to go in with an I statement and say something like, I paid attention and I still felt really unprepared for that test. Or, I felt upset when I saw questions on the test that might not have been covered in class. By going into it with that kind of attitude, the teacher is going to be much more likely to help you figure out a solution. If you go in just to attack them or their test, their guard is gonna go up, and they are much more likely to battle back at you. Oh yeah, make sure you have specific examples ready to show the teacher. And again, while we're talking specifically about teachers, this technique works with just about anyone. Teachers, friends, parents, boyfriends, girlfriends, you name it. I statements are money when it comes to talking about anything that upsets you. Point number 3, have solutions ready. Again, we're not going in there just to kind of blow up and vent and tell the teacher how we feel and then leave. We are there to solve a problem. Again, if you want to get to your future hopes and dreams, we've got to figure this thing out. And that means talking this thing all the way through and figuring out a solution. So before you go into that meeting, think about what the solution might look like. Maybe it's you checking in with the teacher and making sure that you've got everything that you need before you go into a test. Or maybe that might be switching your seating chart because you're sitting next to some obnoxious slacker that's been bugging you the whole semester. Side note, the teacher might give you a solution that you might not want to hear. That doesn't mean that it's worthless. Again, remember, this is a two-way conversation, so maybe you guys can bounce ideas off each other to come up with something that works great for you both. Guys and girls, remember, it might not feel like this all the time, but we're all on the same team here. And I really want to encourage you that it is possible to change a teacher's mind. And even if you don't, I'm sure you'll be much closer to a solution after you attempt a good talk. It's so important that we do our best to be on the same team. It'll help you get much closer to wherever it is that you're trying to go. So let go of the we don't see eye to eye, or we just don't get along, or I just don't get their teaching style. Stop thinking about the problems and start thinking about the solutions. Whoa, that was good. I should make a video about that. Anyway, we love you guys, and we know that you're going to be great. There's some downloadable content that we'd love for you to do. It'll help you to get used to using I statements, which can be awkward at first, but if you practice them, we promise you'll see how they work magic. All right, y'all be good to each other, your teachers, and your families. We out.